Overcoming limiting beliefs. That's the topic for today. The benefit of listening today is number one, we're going to talk about, get a working definition for limiting beliefs. Number two, we're going to talk about how to identify the limiting beliefs. But number three, we're going to discuss a strategy of overcoming those limiting beliefs. Welcome into Rethink Podcast. My name is Kelly. I'm your host. It's my pleasure as always to welcome you into another great podcast. Join us over on YouTube. For those of you who have not done so already, join us. Come on over to YouTube. The link will be in the bio. I need you to come over and subscribe and watch us and let us get this algorithm going. So many of us are over on the podcast side, which is fine. This is for your pleasure. Wherever you like to listen to us, it's okay with me as long as you continue to listen. And also like, share, and subscribe. Do all that good stuff, and you really, really help us grow organically, or we always have. Today, our exercise comes with a workbook. So don't forget to check the show notes or the comments to be able to link out and be able to get that workbook. I'm going to ask you also, check out our website. We have a brand new website we talked a little bit about in the last podcast, but I'd really like for you to go over to Rethink Podcast and the number one, Rethink Podcast and the number one. That is the web address to our new website. Plenty of information about the podcast there. You can actually listen to the podcast from our website if you want. You can order some of our prior materials in terms of our workbooks. You can also get a free gift there. So just go check us out. And also there's a gratitude journal that is at the very front when you come into our website. That gratitude journal works really, really well when we're talking about overcoming limiting beliefs, or just simply assisting in your journaling process, which a lot of times we talk about journaling as part of the solution here. It really helps for you to be able to be prompted to identify the things that you're already grateful for and open up the door to more abundance and more manifestation. So if you like to get that journal, you can also go to our website and check it out. And the purchasing the journal is going to help us out here at the podcast. I think the journal is only like $19 or something like that. It's 100 days to gratitude. 100 days to gratitude. All right, guys, so let's get rocking and rolling. If you're not watching us over on YouTube, be advised that we do have some slides and some different things that from an illustrative standpoint could kind of help the podcast flow a little bit more, but I'll do my best, as I always do, to really be descriptive in our commentary here to ensure that you understand, what we're talking about. So let's rock and roll. Working definition. What are limiting beliefs? Well, what does it sound like? These are usually negative thoughts that you picked up along the way, usually when you're really, really young, about yourself, and you now identify with them. And for some reason, they keep us from reaching our full potential, the things that we really want to achieve in life. It's possible that someone could have told you when you were younger that you were not smart enough, not tall enough, not pretty enough, not slim enough. And over time, whatever that belief is, you believed it, number one, but it's become embedded. It's now a belief for you. It's part of your character almost. And these beliefs, they act as if they're invisible barriers in our minds. And it holds us back from achieving the things that we want and accomplishing the things that we desire. So what we want to focus on today is these outdated ways of thinking. Okay, we're really just going to challenge, where are these thoughts originating from? Why are they reoccurring? And how do I get them to stop? That's the most important thing. How do I replace them with a more productive thought, something that's going to get me closer to my end goal? Okay, so let's talk about the issue up front. What is the issue? Well, first of all, the issue, of course, is that we have the limiting beliefs. So let's talk about 5 different things that happens or potentially could happen when you do house a limiting belief. Number one, have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like stuck in a rut? I get a new idea, I launch out to do it, and then I get to a certain stage, bam, plateau. I get in a relationship, it feels really great up front, and then bam, plateau. Or I get in a health journey, I start feeling pretty good, and then bam, or start losing a certain amount of weight, and then bam, I plateau. Limiting beliefs can keep you stuck in the same place, unable to grow, feeling like, this is the maximum that I can get. Let me give you an example. Let's say you don't believe you're good enough for public speaking. You might avoid opportunities to speak in the public in front of others, and it keeps you missing out on opportunities in terms of career advancement and also personal growth. There are a number of opportunities or examples, I should say, that I can give you. If it's weight loss, if it's relationship, you want that special person, but maybe you have a limiting belief that you're not good enough. I've done this, Kelly, over a number of years. I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s, I'm still single. Maybe that's what my life is. Maybe I just don't meet the demand of the marketplace. Whatever the belief that you have, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not pretty enough. For men, I don't make enough money, I'm not handsome enough, I don't, bring enough to the table. Whatever this limiting belief that you have, we're going to challenge it today. We're going to talk about ways to overcome them. Another thing that happens as a result of limiting belief is that it develops low self-esteem. People who carry limiting beliefs usually have low self-esteem, at least around this particular issue. So the beliefs can chip away at your confidence. They can chip away at your confidence, and it can lead to negative self-image, i.e. low self-esteem. So if you're constantly thinking that you're not good enough, let's think about this. If you're constantly thinking that you're not good enough, you're going to struggle to see your actual true value. Okay? Obviously, and maybe not times always obviously, but you have value. You are valuable. But if you're struggling with a particular mindset about how valuable you are, if you have any value at all, then that's going to go in the reverse. And it's going to affect everything. Everything. It's going to affect everything from your relationships to your career because you are involved. You bring yourself to everything, whether it's your career, your relationship, your entrepreneurship, your social life, whatever it is, your personal growth, it still is you. The saying is no matter where you go, there you are. So unless you change the way you think about yourself, the things that you think are going to continue to impact your ability to achieve in your life. So low self-esteem is the second thing. Missed opportunities that may be intuitive. Obviously, if you have low self-esteem and you feel stuck in a rut, you may be in a constant state of procrastination because you're waiting for you to be this better version of yourself. And without knowing the types of action to take, you're simply not taking action at all. When you don't believe in yourself, you might pass up opportunities that could change your life. Why do you pass up opportunities? Well, you just don't think that they're for you. You think maybe they're too big for you. You're not good enough, that someone else is better suited. So imagine turning down a promotion or a chance to start your own business because you're afraid of failing. People do this all the time. Turn down the opportunity because they are afraid that they will fail. So at least if they don't try, they don't fail. But really not trying is failing. So this is a result of limiting beliefs. The next is a negative mindset. This is kind of hand in hand with a little self-esteem, but a little worse. So limiting beliefs often create a cycle of negativity. Let me give you an example. If you believe that you're unlucky, I don't really believe in luck, but let's say you do, and you believe that you're always unlucky, you're going to start noticing bad things happening to you. Now, I know it's because you are a powerful creator and you're creating these things based on what you believe, but you don't know that. You just think bad things happen to me. So the more you think this, the more it happens. And the proof provides energy for the thought, which again brings on more proof. So you see how this cycle works. So what we need to do is get into that box where that thought is and take it out, replace it with a good thought, and then let the cycle run, and we'll get better results. And the last thing is lack of fulfillment. Now, here on Rethink Podcast, we always talk about fulfillment really being that thing that we are looking for. So fulfillment, our definition, our formula is this. That's when our work, the thing that we want, to do, meets our passion, the thing that we're really excited about, the thing that keeps us up late at night and wakes us up early in the morning, the thing that we feel our life's work is about. We want those two things to come together. And when they come together, that really is our life's work. The thing that we're passionate about and the work, they come together. It's our life's work. And that is the opportunity for the best chance of fulfillment. When our work meets our passion, we get the best opportunity for fulfillment. Okay. That can be considered your life's work. But if you are fighting limiting beliefs, chances are you're not really there yet. So lack of fulfillment. You're not living up to your full potential. You might find yourself stuck in a job. We all have. You may find yourself stuck in a job that you don't really love, or a situation or relationship that doesn't make you happy, and it doesn't bring out the best of you because you don't believe that you deserve a better relationship or a better job or a better, career or entrepreneurship. You just don't believe it. Now, let's go to the solution. Let's start talking about solutions here. So those were, 5 ramifications for having a limiting mindset or limiting beliefs. These are solutions. The first thing is self-awareness. Self-awareness. The first step in overcoming limiting beliefs is recognizing, number one, they actually do exist. They exist. So pay very close attention. I'm all tongue-tied today. Pay very close attention to your thoughts. What does that sound like? It sounds like meditation. Pay close attention to your thoughts. Notice the thoughts that you have that hold you back. You know better than anyone because you're the only person that are seeing these thoughts come and go every day. Let me give you an example. If you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, I want you to pause and for you to say to yourself, is that really true? In this case, whether you're trying to date someone you think is out of your league, whether you're trying to lose weight and you think, I just don't have the stamina and the willpower to do it, whether you're trying to create a business for the longevity of your family, something you can pass on to your kids, whatever it is that you've kind of plateaued on, and it comes to you and says, hey, I'm just not good enough to take it to the next level. I want you to ask yourself quite simply, is this true? Is it true? And you'll often find that these beliefs are simply based on fear, not facts. They're based on fear. Not to get too far off, I was watching something the other day. I can't remember what it was, but the thought just came to my mind that as we maneuver from plateau to plateau in our lives, from consciousness to consciousness, it presents itself as a problem, it being the opportunity for us to plateau from level to level. And if we see it as a problem and we procrastinate or we turn back or we have fear of failure and we just don't try at all, then we never get to that next level. What do? We remain at the same level, discontent, unsatisfied, unhappy. The goal here is to leap into that life that you want. The problem is going to help you to leap into the life that you want. So you've got to embrace the problem. Embrace it. See it as an opportunity. See it as a vehicle that's going to take you to that life that you want. Now, this is a very unconventional way of thinking about problems and limiting beliefs, but that's really what it is. If you can go in and identify where your limiting beliefs reside, you have the best opportunity of catapulting yourself into the life that you say you really want. Relationship, career, entrepreneurship, financial abundance, health, all of the things that you may be missing. This problem or this situation is the way, once you overcome it, is to catapult into that new level of life. Now, why do I say that? It's because that problem is trying to unveil and birth in you that new level of life. But it's going to show you the areas where you're probably at a deficit. It's going to show you where you're at a deficit, but it's also going to show you if you can conquer these things, you can have that next level. Just conquer these things. It could be your fear of speaking in public, like we said, it could be a number of things. Only you know. Only you know. So challenge it. Say, is this true? Self-awareness. Spend some time with your thoughts and identify with the thoughts that you don't agree with, that you see that are limiting you. Anything that says I cannot, I should not, I can't, these are usually limiting beliefs. And again, the good news is these are based out of fear. They're not facts, they're fear. It is your ego, it is your mind suggesting to you a safer route, perhaps, a safer alternative versus moving forward. The second thing is to challenge the beliefs. Always challenge the beliefs. Don't just assume that because your mind brings you a thought that this is the end all be all. Remember, you have a mind, you are not your mind. You have a body, you are not your body. It is you, the awareness behind these eyes, that can say, hey, wait a minute. This, where did this thought come from? I'm going to challenge that. Once you're aware of the limiting beliefs, start questioning them. Where are they coming from? Why do I have them? Are these beliefs actually true, like in the statement we said before, or are they just assumptions you've made over time, and maybe you are just assuming that this is going to be just like the past? A piece of advice: in order for you to move forward, relinquish your past. Your circumstances now, your past has nothing to do with your future unless you allow it to. Your circumstances do not affect your future unless you allow it. So here's an example of challenging the beliefs. If you believe that you can't succeed because you failed before, then remind yourself that failure is a natural part of the process. It is a learning process, and that your past doesn't define your future. So many of us, myself included, have lived and I have predetermined my outcome on a new venture based on what I did on the past. Why? Because my brain, my mind, can only give me what it knows. And what it does, it searches my history to say, okay, what happened the last time we tried to do this? And if it wasn't a good result, it's going to say, probably not going to get a good result this time. What I'm suggesting you do is to go beyond that level of thinking. Use your imagination. That is what it's for. That is what it is for. Your imagination is that God part of you that is suggesting to you, number one, look at what we can do. Now, granted, it's in a spiritual realm, but still it's done. And if you know first is spiritual, then it's physical, then create what you want in a spiritual realm, and then have the faith, have the confidence, have the belief that it will manifest into your physical realm. Spiritual first, physical second. If it's something that you've never done before, it doesn't mean it can't be done. I think if you listen to a podcast, I think like this, then you know that just like with the 4-minute mile, once it was done, it was done quite often. It just has to be done one time. That is what I say all the time in the podcast. All you have to do is to get this information, your spiritual practices, your personal growth to work once. All you have to do is get it work one time and you're locked in. Why? Because you have past performance. You have history. You have the knowledge now that I actually can do this. That really is, if you think about it, most of our problem. We don't have the past performance. We don't have a history that says we're able to do this. We've not really been in long-term relationships successfully. We've either always been heavy or overweight. We have had consistent health issues throughout our lives. And we want to break these cycles as it relates to money and abundance. We've not really had an overflow yet, but it doesn't mean it cannot happen. The only way that it cannot happen is if you quit now. If you continue to move forward, challenge your limiting beliefs, and believe that your circumstances do not matter, and what you see in your imagination can manifest, then you can have it. Just don't stop. The last thing is this: replace the beliefs. Now, that's where I was going with the imagination. Maybe it hasn't happened in your life currently, but it doesn't mean that it will not and it cannot. Swap out the negative imagery with the new and improved positive one. Create something in your mind. Create something empowering. Create something that is really what you want. Think about the things that you want, not the things that you don't want. Now, this is something that you have to remind yourself of on a constant basis, or at least I know I do, because it's easy to get into the 3D realm, into this physical plane and see things, hear things, and you say, oh, okay. And you get familiar. And so you start back into that cycle of, vibrating on this level. Well, just like Einstein said, you are not and you cannot solve the problem in this level of consciousness that was created with the same level of consciousness. You have to go higher. You have to raise your level of awareness. You have to raise your frequency, your level of consciousness in order to solve the problem. So when you get to that plateau point and you're ready to catapult into the next stage of your life, know it won't come from a physical place. It's going to come from a spiritual place. Why? 9 times out of 10, you've not done this before. You won't have a reference point. You've not done this before. What does it feel like? It feels scary. It feels unfamiliar. It feels uncomfortable. But guess what? Just like getting in a cold shower, do it anyway. Do it anyway. Those are the 3 solutions for overcoming our limiting beliefs. Self-awareness, we're going to spend time with ourselves. We're going to be in meditation. We're going to identify those limiting beliefs, because before the first thing we got to do is know which limiting beliefs we are up against. Second thing is we're going to challenge them. And then the third thing is we're going to replace them. We're going to absolutely replace those thoughts with different, more empowering thoughts. Now, let's talk about a call to action. What is it that we can do? What is it that we can do daily, practically, that can, because it's not a diet type of atmosphere. And what I mean is diet versus lifestyle. So when I changed my eating habits, I didn't go on a diet. I literally changed the way I eat. I changed the type of food I eat. I changed the amount of food I eat, and I changed when I eat. That's not a diet. That's a lifestyle change. So in this way, if you're going to really be serious about overcoming your limiting beliefs, you have to be serious about changing the way that you think. And that is a lifestyle change. It's not temporary. This is now how I operate. It's now how I operate. So you're going to get increased confidence. You're going to see new opportunities. You're going to see better relationships. You're going to see personal growth. You're going to feel fulfilled by adopting this lifestyle change. What is a lifestyle change? You're going to constantly, consistently prove to yourself the thoughts that are coming through your vessel, through your mind, are worthy of coming through there. And if they're limiting beliefs, you're going to challenge them. If they're limiting beliefs, you're going to replace them with a positive one. And you're going to get so good at it that it's going to be automatic. How did you get to where you are now? You are where you are now because you learned this behavior. You repeated this behavior. You believe this behavior, and this behavior has gotten you to this point. Not a problem. We all are where we are based on decisions we've made. Now that you've identified that there's some course correction that needs to happen, let's put the course correction in place. The course correction is a lifestyle change. We're going to change the way that we think about ourselves. We're going to change the way that we think about ourselves. Rethink the way that you think about yourself. No longer will you put yourself down, whether it's publicly or privately. No longer will you say negative things about yourself. No longer will you accept others saying negative things about yourself. You will promote yourself at the highest level, because if you don't, no one else will. You will only accept high level service ideas and things like that from yourself. You're going to be really diligent with identifying negative thought patterns. And when you see them, you're going to question them and you're going to change them. This is our new lifestyle change. What's the result? Well, do you want increased confidence? Because if you start believing in yourself more, it's going to boost your confidence in all areas of your life. Okay. If you want to do this, then what you're going to see is new opportunities, because with a more positive mindset, you're going to be more open to taking risk, and you're going to seize new opportunities. You're going to be able to talk to new people. New people will bring new ideas, and the cycle starts all over again. Speaking of new people, you're going to see better relationships. When you feel much better about yourself, you're going to be more apt to be out in the public and be more social and see positive impacts of your interacting with groups and networks that's going to help them, and they're going to help you. Personal growth, which really is a big part of what we talk about here on the podcast. Letting go of your limiting beliefs is going to allow you to grow into the person that you know that you are, to evolve into the person that you believe yourself to be. Personal growth is a side and a byproduct of overcoming our limiting beliefs. And then lastly, of course, is the fulfillment. This is the part of you that feels this exuberance, this joy, this high level frequency of satisfaction, of knowing that I was able to identify, a thing, I was able to course correct, and now I see a result. You did that. You did that. You are listening to a podcast like this. You're taking notes. You're understanding, hey, I've got action now. I've got an actual plan. I can identify my limiting beliefs. I can challenge my limiting beliefs. And then I can think a different thought, which is replacing my limiting beliefs. And if I do that on a consistent basis, eventually that limiting belief will, just like a plant that you don't water. Think of it that way. It's just like a plant that you don't water. You stop watering, eventually that plant is going to die. Like I told you guys, we have a work sheet here. It'll be on the website. I'm going to put the link on our YouTube notes, or our comments, description rather, as well as our podcast show notes. And you can go there and link to our website if you like to download this. This will be free as well. It's not a big deal. We just really want to thank you for continuing to support the podcast. There are 5 daily practices though that I want you to engage in, and I'll make sure I list this within the worksheet. Number 1, continue with your positive affirmations. Begin your day by giving yourself the most positive statements about yourself that you can. If you're having trouble with your affirmations, send me a note. Let me know. I may have some direction for you. But write in your journal at least 5 positive affirmations about you before you go to sleep. And in the morning, read them. Read them to yourself. And as the days go by, add to those 5, and you have 10 and then 20, et cetera, et cetera. Visualization. This is the part of the day where you spend a few minutes imagining yourself actually accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish. You should always see yourself doing the thing that you want to accomplish. No brainer. Visualization. Practicing gratitude. I told you earlier on our website, if you want to, there is a gratitude journal. Journaling about gratitude is one of the most powerful ways for you to achieve an abundant life. Identify areas right now where you are currently abundant, where you're grateful for, is one of the best ways to get into that next level of abundance, being thankful for what you already have. So if you would like to get the journal, it's on our website. It'll link you out, and you can go ahead and grab that journal. It's 100 Days to Gratitude. Write down the things that you're grateful for. Today, you're going to write I think there's a place in there for affirmations. There's a place to say, hey, today I'm grateful for this. Tomorrow I'm grateful for that. And there's just a blank page for you to write your thoughts. And it's a very good, I use the journal myself, and it's a very good tool to help you stay on track with meeting your goals. Okay. And also to identify those limiting beliefs. There's nothing wrong with writing down your new improved thought in your gratitude journal. Mindfulness meditation. That's the next thing you need to do on a regular basis. Let's just spend 15, 20, 30 minutes, at a minimum 30 minutes a day, meditating and allowing our thoughts to be free, disengaged, but also being aware of our thoughts, knowing that we have systemic and consistent negativity. That is a place of action. We need to identify what those thoughts are, and we need to challenge them, and we need to think a different thought that's replacing them. Then lastly, probably the most important thing is to surround yourself with positivity. This can be other positive people, people like you that are going on a journey like you're going on, other spiritual minded people, people in your family, in your network that are friends that you trust with your personal information. Letting them know that, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, and they're supportive of you. Maybe look on Facebook or some sort of meetup type of app where there are people in your area, spiritually minded, that are conscious of this type of work, this type of spiritual work, and that will support you. So make sure that you are spending time with people who love you and uplift you and encourage you and support you. And we always encourage you on the podcast. So this is a place that you can always come. I think I don't remember what podcast it was, maybe 2 podcasts ago, where we just talked about encouragement. We talked about really uplifting our listeners and encouraging people, because I know how that is needed on a regular basis. So again, check out our tool, the worksheet that we have. I'm going to go with you really briefly. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about 6 columns where we're listing out, number 1, our limiting beliefs, because we need to identify the limiting beliefs. The next column says, is this true? Is this true? The next column says, what evidence do I have against this? So let's say if your limiting belief is I'm not smart enough. I say, is that true? No, of course not. Well, what evidence do I have that this isn't true? Maybe I graduated from school at a very high GPA. I operate very successfully day to day at a very high functioning level in terms of my career or my entrepreneurship, my job. I've succeeded in very difficult tasks before. Why can't I do this task now? Those are the things that you write in step 3. Number 4, the next column is reframe belief. In other words, this is the belief I have that's going to keep me from jumping back into that old thought. I am intelligent and I'm capable of learning anything. I'm intelligent and I'm capable of learning anything. We're going to accompany that next column with a daily affirmation. A daily affirmation for you could be, I'm intelligent, I'm capable, and I'm highly motivated. I'm intelligent, I'm capable, and I'm highly motivated. This is a daily affirmation. Next, we have an action step. Something you can do to reinforce this thought. That is to say, keep, some literature close by that is supportive of the ideology that you're trying to build up. For example, read a chapter of that particular book and challenge that thought from the focus point of reading a book that says, "Hey, you're engaged, you're empowered, you're intelligent." So the next step is reading, or an action step in this case is reading a book. And then you want to put a date on it, because the date's important, because we're going to track our progress. Track your progress, because at some point it's going to, the thought's going to die, and you want to check it off. Like, I don't have that systemic, consistent thought of me not being good enough anymore. I've overcome my limiting beliefs. And that's really what I wanted to talk to you guys today. So thanks so much for joining me here at Rethink Podcast. It's awesome, as always, to check you guys out. Again, don't forget to go and check us out on the internet, to our new webpage, to our new website rather. We got a lot of cool stuff there. If this is your first time listening, thank you guys for listening all the way to the end. Make sure you subscribe, especially if you're over on YouTube. If you've not been to our YouTube page, please go and check it out. I'll make sure the link is in the show notes. Thank you guys so much, and everyone have a very good evening.